Hey guys, welcome to Make Money Count. Today, I'm here in our new studio for the first time ever. Well, not the first time, but the first show. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. And today, we're going to be talking about, because I'm curious as well, we're going to be talking about what's going on with Jerome Powell, who seems like he's got a bit of an issue right now.
Justin came into the office the other day and he said, "What is going on with Jerome Powell?" And I was like, "Oh man, it's like a little soap opera happening in the United States."
Yeah, it seems
with
like
multiple consequences. Like
Right.
there's a lot of different things that could happen. The least is that Powell gets forced out of the Federal Reserve. Like there's way more consequential matters at stake right now.
Like a public hanging.
No, it's more to do with the independence of the Federal Reserve. Like,
Right.
There's a real risk now that Trump accomplishes something that Nixon tried to do and brings the autonomous Federal Reserve under the White House,
Right.
which has really never proven successful throughout history.
Right.
Most recently in Turkey. You remember we were talking about Turkey?
Yeah.
Turkey is an example of where a dictator took over the governance of the Federal Reserve, like would appoint people to be the chairperson of the Federal Reserve, but was controlling it.
Right. Which turned out to be an issue.
Yeah. So what do you want to know?
Okay, so why don't we start from the beginning? What exactly is happening?
Okay, so there are a few people that are around the president.
Okay.
Actually, I would say there's probably everybody that's around the president.
Yeah.
It almost wants to outdo the other with respect to what scalp they can bring the president.
Yeah.
Right? Like the president has made no secret of the fact that he wants to use the Department of Justice to go after his enemies.
Right.
And the Democrats kind of did that when they were in charge, right? Like they were going after him.
Yeah.
With the kind of Mar-a-Lago raid and it's like he's learned too much. Like he was the president and then he wasn't the president, and over the time that he wasn't the president, he just got smarter and angrier. And now that he's the president, he is moving at light speed to accomplish things that nobody has accomplished. And one of those items for him is to go after his political foes.
Right. And to control the Federal Reserve.
The first we saw of this was when Trump went after Lisa Cook.
Right.
Who is a governor on the Federal Reserve Board. And it's kind of interesting the way he went after her. There's a guy named Bill Plute who is the housing secretary in the United States right now. And again, another Trump loyalist. And it seems as though the MO is to find they call it mortgage fraud. Like they say that Lisa Cook engaged in mortgage fraud. And that comes from this guy, Bill Plute, who identifies that he believes that she has done mortgage fraud by stating that she lives in, she has two places as her principal residence.
Right.
And that's fraud. And he refers that to the Department of Justice, and then the Department of Justice opens up a case to go after her.
Right.
Of course, everyone's working in concert, right? It's like me saying, hey, the boss really wants us to go after Lisa Cook because she's not towing the line and dropping interest rates fast enough. Find something on her.
Right.
Or maybe he doesn't even say find something on her, right? But
they just know.
Yeah, so Bill Plute will be like, okay, I got to find something on her. Trump's going to be super happy. He identifies that on two mortgage applications, she said they're both her principal residence.
Right.
He refers that to the Department of Justice. He's like, well, we found something. Go after her. And then they go after her. Now, Lisa Cook's case is being heard in the Supreme Court soon, like in the next month, maybe two. And this Jerome Powell case is probably going to help her, and I'm going to explain to you why. So Lisa Cook's argument is that all of this legal trouble that she is now in, this indictment that she is a fraudster, is all rooted in the fact that she wasn't towing the line with respect to what the president wanted to see with a stimulative monetary policy, right? Lowering interest rates. I mean, get the economy going.
Not to seem like a Trumper or like the but I mean, didn't she break the law anyways? Like, doesn't matter why. Like,
so I don't know like her specific case. I know that Trump attempted to go after someone else with the same accusation, not Trump, but Plout, through the Department of Justice, went after somebody else. And I read that in that case, this person turned over, and this may be the case for Lisa Cook as well, turned over their banking records and their communication. And then the bank turned over its communication, and it indicated that the bank was aware of the claim.
Right.
And in that case, it may have been an active politician, and the politician was saying, like, I have a constituency office and I have a place in Washington. Both are my principal residence.
Right.
You live between two places.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So I don't know that she did commit fraud yet.
Right.
And I think that her argument is like, number one, there's no fraud. Number two, the only reason why I'm being prosecuted right now is because I'm not going to toe the line on where the president wants to see interest rates. And that questions the independence of the Fed, of the Federal Reserve.
Right.
Now, the reason why, what's going on with Powell. So what's going on with Powell now? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you see the 60 Minutes? I think it was a 60 Minutes where Jerome Powell and Donald Trump were like walking around the Federal Reserve building and the construction that was going on. So in July, Trump and Powell went and walked around the Federal Reserve. And I'm not 100% sure on the numbers, but it was something like Powell said to Trump, we're a little bit over budget. We're at like $2.7 billion.
To build this building.
Yeah. Not over budget by $2.7 billion, but like the budget has ballooned to $2.7 billion. And Trump says, well, actually, no, I think it's 3.1. And Powell says, like, what are you talking about? Like, that's not what I heard. And he contradicts Trump kind of like in front of everybody and in front of.
Yeah.
And that, I guess, pissed off Trump.
Right.
And he says, like, Trump added in another building in there. Basically, there was another building. So Trump got pissed off. But at the end of that meeting, Trump wasn't necessarily like, he didn't indicate that he was super angry. He just said, listen, this type of stuff. I think he called it Monday morning quarterbacking. He's like, listen, like anybody can play Monday morning quarterback, and I don't want to do that. I just, you know how he says, like, well, I don't know. I can't say whether it's fraud or incompetence. That's not for me to say. I don't know. But clearly he's saying that there's fraud and incompetence. Yeah. Anyways, so stemming from that meeting, it appears as though Bill Plout got involved again and referred a case. So within the Department of Justice, this woman named Jeanine Pirro, who I think is also a former Fox News personality and obviously very tied in with the Trump administration, she states that the Department of Justice asked asked the Federal Reserve and Powell for more information relating to the cost overruns of the work being done at the Federal Reserve. By all indications, Jerome Powell is not stealing money. There were some issues with like asbestos in the building, contamination, it's construction, it's federal government. The budget got out of hand, I guess.
It gets blown.
But she's stating that they asked Powell to respond to some questions and he did not. Powell issued a statement on Sunday night saying this is an attempt for the president and the administration to influence the Federal Reserve, and I'm not going to let it happen. He came right out there. He said it to the people. And since then,
that was when he was just looking straight at the camera.
Yeah.
That video. Yeah.
And since then, Federal Reserve equivalent, so like the Central Bank of Canada, the central banks around the world have all mostly come to the defense of Powell,
right,
through Europe and Canada, and even within the administration, Scott Bessent, who is like a critical part of Trump's team, on Sunday night went to Trump and he was like, "What are you doing, man? Like, this is not going to be good for markets." In fact, markets have kind of shrugged it off as like, "Oh, just Trump being Trump."
Yeah.
Unless you look like, I mean, listen, like markets aren't shrugging off the general fear in the world right now. Like gold's $5,000 an ounce, silver's $100, like way beyond all-time highs right now. Like, we are just like, and that should, if someone's looking at it, that should make people a little bit worried.
Do you think the gold bubble's going to pop? Like, do you think it's going to go down?
Well, I hope it goes down.
Yeah.
Because the reason why it's $5,000 an ounce is because people are terrified.
Yeah, like no one wants to buy stocks. Yeah.
Well, no, not. They're worried about a war.
Right.
Like they're worried that the United States is going to bomb Iran, or a nuclear bomb is going to go off, or like the foreign policy of the administration, and maybe to a very, very minor extent, the Federal Reserve. Because the other reason why gold goes up is for a fear against inflation.
Right.
Well, if the federal government, if the president of the United States absorbs the monetary policy, we know that he's going to want to be stimulative. We know that he's going to want to drop interest rates. And in a time period where we're kind of not sure whether we've conquered inflation, if you start dropping interest rates, inflation is going to shoot up. And a hedge against inflation is gold.
Right.
So, but I think that the run up on gold is probably 90% related to geopolitical fear,
right,
and 10% related to the possibility of inflation as a result of bringing the Federal Reserve in.
Of course.
Like, all this is to say is, I guess the Canadian dollar will strengthen, right? Like, if the United States continues to be forceful in dropping interest rates, their currency will also drop.
Right.
And the Canadian dollar could strengthen.
Right. So it'd be worth it to go to the States again one day.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Do you want to go to the States?
No.
Do you want, like, not many people I'm speaking to want to go to the States.
No, definitely
right
not.
Yeah.
So has Jerome Powell been charged with anything right now?
I mean,
No.
I think he has been charged, or I think they have informed him that they are proceeding with a criminal case against him.
Of fraud.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That mismanagement of
Public money, yeah.
As a result, though, like, again, I think, so there are multiple ways why this can and likely will backfire, and already has started to backfire for Trump. Like, I don't know, but he always just seems to end up better off, though, right? Like, you can't count this guy out, obviously, but there is a senator, a Republican senator who's retiring, who's on the Central Bank Appointment Committee. His name is Tom Tillis from North Carolina. I was reading about this guy. So he has come out and said that until this issue with Powell is sorted out, he's supporting Powell, Republican.
Right.
Until this issue with Powell is sorted out, he is not going to appoint the new Federal Reserve chairman,
right,
which is Trump's position to appoint and should be occurring in May.
Right.
He wants to put in Kevin Hassett. Can we put a picture of Kevin Hassett up here? Like, you can hear him on CNBC every morning now. He's totally towing the Trump. Like, he'll do whatever Trump wants him to do.
Yeah.
It begins to just, like, once you appoint him and it gets pushed through, you now are effectively saying the president of the United States will control monetary policy. And you have to steamroll all the other governors on the board too. So I guess you put him in, and then you find out that everybody has mortgage applications on the board of the Federal Reserve. Like, all the governors have two properties,
and
or you drum something up against them, and you put this like constant full court press of pressure against these people until everybody just starts agreeing, and then interest rates go to zero, and then inflation rises, but there's a period of, there's an economic boom. I don't know.
It's kind of scary, no?
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's lots of scary stuff going on right now, which is why gold's $5,000.
Right.
But let me think, is there anything else I wanted to say? Oh, you could draw a parallel to what happened with Nixon. Nixon in 1972, I wrote this down also. Yeah. In the run up to the 1972 election, Nixon had a central bank governor. Arthur Burns was a guy's name. And Nixon felt that Arthur Burns should be reducing interest rates and creating more economic stimulus in the hopes of helping him win the 72 election. And Nixon had the Nixon tapes. You know about this? How he recorded all of his calls. So in those Nixon tapes, you can hear the conversations of Nixon pushing this Federal Reserve chair to lower interest rates. And by some estimations, it happened, and Nixon was reelected, and then that didn't end well in 74. But by all estimations, Trump's
he's here for the long haul.
He's beating another president at another part of the game. Listen, I don't know. I mean, to draw it back to Canadian mortgages, could be good. Could allow us could allow us to drop interest rates more.
Yeah.
Yes, perhaps. But I think the biggest concern right now for the Canadian economy is just the free trade agreement. No, for the Canadian economy is the free trade agreement. Although I'm searching my brain to try to find a bright spot, right? Although bright spot, David McKay, the CEO of the Royal Bank of Canada, believes that interest in foreign investment in Canada is going to reach an all-time high based on these kind of major projects that Carney is moving forward. So
great.
That could be a good sign. And obviously when resources go up, Canada does well, generally speaking, but we do have some things to consider.
Well, you know me, I always like a little drama. That's why I was excited to hear about this.
You get plenty of that.
I like a little tea.
You understand?
As they say.
All good?
Yes, I'm in.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you.